Hello, am I live? I think everything is okay. Good evening here from Europe. Um, During the day, in the middle of the day for those in the United States, and probably in the middle of the night for those in Australia. So, hello everyone. This is Shanti, and I have promised the Facebook Live on true power and healthy anger and respect, leadership, and healthy boundaries tonight, or tonight for me tonight. And I'm so thrilled. We'll be talking about this such an important topic. This was something that changed my life, and this will change your life. I promise. If you manage today to really get the true point of anger, I'll be the happiest person in the world, and you'll be even more happy, because this will change your life. This is my promise. If it doesn't, then you need to practice deeper. I'm willing to answer everything, whatever you need to ask. I'm just so committed to help. Why, I will tell you in a minute. I just wanted to show you something. Look at this. This is my fireplace. So it's already like a really, really nice fall here in Europe, and I'm sitting here by my fireplace and I'm so happy. So who is here? Tell me, who is here? I see people coming. Say hello, wave. Tell me, what do you want to know tonight? Is it just anything in particular, or are you just going to let me talk what I want to tell you? Okay, I'll give you a minute or two so you can say hello, and then I'll just dive in, because I don't want to be too long, since I know you have other things to do too, and me too, and we can be like really to the point and not, take too much time. Okay, so I have prepared a little bit of the like bullet points for myself, not too much, and I'm going to like really go into it. I wanted to say one more thing. So this is the part of the Leap for Leaders journey. If you haven't already, please join. I know many of you are joined. If you aren't, then I'll post the link in the comments when it's over, or if maybe my assistant is going to post it now. So it is the journey, 15, 16 days long journey, with a video series where I talk a lot about method to feel, which I'm going to mention today as well, and also about the journey of every leader has to go through, because every leader, when she or he goes through like a really bigger endeavor than before, we need to go through the certain transformation. This is how it is. There isn't a single leader on this planet who hasn't gone through this transformation. And if you are just before something big, really big in your life, like, it doesn't mean, I'm not saying like big in a general measure. It's big for you. It should be like bigger than anything you have ever done before. And if you are facing something like that, and I face it like every year, it's not something that you face once in a lifetime. It's like constant thing. If you are facing like a challenge or some bigger vision, bigger dream, and you are stuck and you don't know how to really gain this confidence to go into it, then this is for you. Because you need to get the emotional strength to climb the rock, which is on the way, and there is your confident leadership, and you are literally growing into the confident and impactful leader you are always meant to be. Okay, I want to talk about anger tonight. This was just an introduction. So, hello. Again, I'm just checking who joined. So, okay. Anger. Who has like goose chills when I say this word? I had it certainly years ago. And most of us learned that anger is something that's really destructive. Many of us were actually really damaged by anger of someone else. And that's why we think about it like this. Definitely, I was one of those children. I was so afraid of my angry father because I knew this anger doesn't go just again. I mean, I'm not the fault. I'm not the guilty one for his anger. It was just all this stored anger that he took out on me. And I just learned to be really afraid of anger. So I just didn't know how to be angry. And then so one, one part of of population is probably like overreacting to anger, could take it out in an aggressive way and could really damage the other. And then the other half of population is having anger inwardly, like they are not able to express it and they hold it back. And what happens in this case is that it damages you from inside. So you get either sick, or like depressed. And one thing is that even mild fever could be sometimes because of the withheld anger, and also serious illness. But then on a long term, serious illnesses like cancer or whatever serious illness is for you, is many times caused by withheld emotion, mainly anger, because anger could be a very sharp thing if you don't know how to have it. So these are two extremes of having anger in a non-healthy way, but unfortunately the way this world is having anger. And that's why I really took on the mission and the purpose to kind of help to have us healthy anger. And of course, I had to learn to have it myself first. So I want to tell you how this all happened. Actually, as I told you, I was really from the family where abuse was like on a daily basis. And I was so scared of anger. Like if someone would even yell at me, I would be like trembling like a dog, who was bitten. And so I wasn't really able to be with my anger or to be with someone else's anger. And so this, if I didn't really look at it and heal that part of me, I would probably continue the story. So there was someone who abused me, so I would probably withhold anger. I would damage myself from the inside, and every once in a while I would burst out and damage someone else. And with this, my loop would be continuing in an unhealthy way. So I would be damaging my children or my animals, or those of around me who are weaker than me, and I just could take my anger out of me. And to be really honest, as a child, and I'm so sorry for that, I took a lot of my anger out of my younger sister. And that's why, I'm really sorry for that. But what I've learned is when a child is really fighting with another child, check if there is some withheld anger in the family, because I usually expressing it in a way that you could really see, that's obvious, and then we try to stop them and set healthy boundaries and teach them and train them and try to make them behave, like don't be so angry. But if you don't heal the reason, if you don't remove the reason while the child is taking the anger out, then nothing will really help. So with these consequences, I was really damaging my relationships and I was damaging my health. And I was lucky enough to go to the Barbara Brennan School of Healing. And there, in the second year, I remember we had this exercise. This was the first time ever that I was faced with that. So we had this exercise. We had this exercise of really, it was a safe space, a whole hall of us, I believe we were 50, 60 people, and with a lot of teachers around us. And we were told that we can have as many so-called negative emotion as we can manage, like anger or unhealthy pride, or what. For me, it was mainly anger, the negative emotion that I could remember from that exercise. It was exercise for about 2 or 3 hours, so it was a long thing. I was so scared before I went in there. And there I was allowed to really have my anger. There was just one rule. No, there were two rules. You cannot hurt yourself, you cannot hurt others. So there is no way you could hurt yourself, you could hurt anyone else. And of course, there was no one's intention to hurt anyone. And so I think we had this, this noodles and there were a lot of soft big balls and just many ways to express your anger if you choose to express it in a way that you want to beat something and I don't encourage it to, kids don't do it at home. Like this is, the warning. What this exercise gave me, so first, as I told you, I was so scared. I was scared to death. I didn't know what to expect. But then I first started to think about my, childhood abuse. So like what happened to me and all this anger started to come up. And then I allowed myself to say, no, I don't want this anymore, and so on and so on. But then something crucial happened, something really crucial. And this, I hope, will happen for you tonight. I started to really feel my anger in my body. Not just in my head, not just in my hands, not just in my mouth, like screaming, wah! I started to feel it in my whole body. And I started to have my visceral experience of anger. Like all this kind of energy moving, it wasn't even unpleasant. It was actually pleasant. It was nice because it started to move. The anger that was stored in my body for years started to move. The energy that was stuck started to move. And we all know that energy that moves feels a way nicer than energy that's stuck. And so it started to move all over my body. And then I understood that anger is mine. That it doesn't matter if whoever in my life did whatever to me, the feeling itself, the energy is really mine. It's not that I consciously choose to blame someone or not to blame someone, or it's not even the matter of forgiveness or not forgiveness or understanding or anything. It's the matter of really owning your emotion. Of having this is mine. Even if you do something to me, like you're always late and it makes me angry, it's my energy. And this was this amazing turning point in my life. I all of a sudden understood that something I was so resisting is actually me. And it's not bad or good, it's just the awareness. It's my feeling. It's my feeling. So this is what I want to convey when I'm talking so much about my F.E.E.L method. And I want to introduce this method for those of you who haven't seen the video 1, 2 in my journey or in our journey. I want to briefly explain it today. I even prepared a whiteboard, so I'll turn to it. So this is the main point, is like whatever emotion you're having, you need to stop judgment. You need to stop blaming, not yourself, not someone else, but really having the emotion. Just it is mine. And in case it's too much, because sometimes this emotion can be so strong that you feel like it is really too much for me, then F.E.E.L method comes in, because F.E.E.L allows you to flow the energy of the emotion. Because when the emotion is too strong, it's too strong when it feels like closed in you, because then you are like in a high pressure pot. You will explode. In a high pressure pot, there is no flow, and if there is no flow, the pressure can just really make damage in you. But when you allow the flow, then pressure even can come to the point that it will damage either yourself or someone else. So this is the trick. I mean, just to let it flow. Okay, so what I'll do now, I'll explain F.E.E.L briefly. I'll see if I can do it somehow. I'll go here to my whiteboard. Okay, can you see it? Yeah, okay, good. So, I'll take a pen. Okay. So for those of you who are familiar, no problem. You can continue practice this over and over again. I practice it like for maybe 25 years now, and I still, I feel that I know how to do it, but still I like to practice it because I can always be, it can always make my life easier and nicer. That's the goal, right? The goal is not like to have my emotion. The goal is to have my emotion in 2 minutes rather than 2 months. Imagine being angry for 2 months or being angry for 2 minutes. Because naturally we are wired to be in joy and in fulfillment, in light and in happiness. And if you allow the so-called emotion that bothers you or that was caused by some unpleasant situation from outside, if you allow it to go through you like fast and then have another perspective of the situation, this is the goal. This is this is when Buddha got enlightened. He didn't remove all the emotions. He just was able to flow them like effortlessly, totally effortlessly. Okay, so the F.E.E.L method goes like this. First is F. Oh, I'll put it like this. And it's trademarked. Anyhow, this is my method. I'm very proud of it. And I believe there is really bright future in front of this method. So F stands for making yourself available to feel. Make yourself available to feel. I'll explain it in a minute. Just let me write this down. Willing to feel. Because when you enter in the world of emotion, of healthy emotion and healthy relationships with yourself, with others, with the authority, with the abundance, with money, then you need to make a decision first. And the decision comes from like, okay, here I am, and I'm consciously willing to give my body, to give my awareness, to give myself to my feelings. I am making myself available to feel. So it starts with a decision. It's not a rocket science. It's just a plain awareness, conscious awareness. I am making myself available to feel now. So do it now. I invite you, and please type yes. If you're okay with that, if you are willing to make yourself available to feel, please just give me a yes. Let me see. There's some of you, so can I have some yeses? That would be great. Okay, I've got some likes. That's something. Okay, I have some yes. Okay, great. More yeses. I'll give you a minute or two. Maybe, it really needs to be like embodied, conscious decision. Give me some yes. Okay, great. Who else? I've got some yeses. Okay, great. Some more yeses. Just open your body. Open your body. Be aware. Be available. Great. I've got many yeses. More are to come. I know. More are coming. I'm going to go on. So next E, first E, stands for embody. Because we're talking about anger tonight, but in general, any feeling is felt in your body. I know sometimes I talk to people and they say, oh, well, what are you talking about? Body feelings, what is that? Like, are you talking rocket science? And well, no, it's not rocket science. I know. You were not taught to do that by your parents, but most probably you are a parent. And so you are doing this for your children, not just for yourself, for the whole generation. You are changing the generation. You are the chain. You are the element in the chain that's going to change the entire future. And this is so great. I'm so happy how many yeses I've got. So give me more. Because if you are making yourself available to feel and embody it, your children or those around you, not just children, like also your people on your team, whoever you are influencing around you, they will pick it from you. You don't need to say them aloud, but if you live this way, they will pick it. So next thing is to embody. Like if let's go to my experience in the Barbara Rennan School of Healing. When I first time in my life, I experienced my anger as my feeling. It was like I felt it visceral in my body. It was like almost orgasmic. It was like, my whole body was trembling. It was a strong feeling, but not everyone is so strong. but in general, you feel your feelings in your body. So this is when you feel something triggers you and you make a decision you're willing to feel, next step is to go to your body and just get in touch with it, like being aware of your body, and then your feelings will get clearer, and in time you will be really, really mastering this, like, okay, in a matter of seconds, okay, this is what I feel, I have it in my body. So the next thing goes for express. Next E stands for express. We'll go to express a little later today because I wanted this tonight to be really practical. But express stands for owning the emotion, because in the embody, so here you decide, in embody, you actually feel it in your body, and in express, you actually own your emotion. So you may say it out loud or express it in some other way, like I said, sometimes you can dance it or draw it or maybe like run it out or have something, but it's really good idea to even say it out loud, like, I feel really angry now. Please notice, I didn't say I feel really angry at you, or I feel really angry at my son who did something, or at my team member who didn't fulfill on her promise. It's my anger. So I am angry. I am not, and maybe notice how different you feel now listening to me. If I say I'm angry at you, I mean, probably everybody goes like, okay, it's not something I would like. I don't want to be around this person right now. But if I say I'm angry, then it just gives you space for being around the angry person. And I can have my anger too. So I don't need to swallow it. So we both have our freedom, we both have our space, and we both have our right to feel what we feel. So if I feel angry, I can say it like, I feel angry. I'll give an example later on how to have this healthy anger. So I'm not blaming anyone, even if I'm convinced that someone else is the cause of my anger. I'm really not blaming anyone. I'm owning my anger. This is healthy anger. I'm owning it. If my father knew it, I wouldn't be abused. You know? So this is why I'm doing it as well, because so many children suffer because their parents don't know how to deal with their emotions. Yeah, give me some love. I mean, not for me. It's for the whole world. It's really why we need to do that. It's for the relationships. It's for connection rather than destruction. And then when I'm really saying, okay, now I'm angry, then I have one more step too. And this is L. And this is let go. Let go. So what I do is I literally energetically allow this energy to flow through my body. I'm not getting rid of it. Please be aware, this is such a difference. I'm not cleansing my emotion. I'm not getting rid of it. I'm not giving it away. Why not? Because if I wanted to give it away or cleanse it, it would just by the definition of cleansing, it would mean it's dirty. It's not dirty. It's not something to blame. It's not something to judge. It is just my energy. It's my natural response to some situation from outside, and I have the whole right to have my own response. And I'm not blaming the other. I'm just having my response. What comes out, we'll see. But what is important is to let go. It means like let it flow through your body. And don't stop it. If those of you who have, if you have some pain in your joints, like in your fingers, maybe sometimes you have a throat, you can't really express yourself through a throat, or sometimes in Slovenian we have a saying that I have a ball in my throat. It's literally a ball of energy which is stopped here. So let it flow. Let it flow. Now let it flow through your fingers, through your toes and pelvis. Pelvis, you see my pelvis? Pelvis is also so important that you can let it flow through here. So this is the let go. It's not getting rid. It's just letting flow through you. So this is the method F.E.E.L explaining shortly. And I'll just go back to my seat because I'm sitting here. I mean, it's nothing to really know about this method. It's more about practicing it. And what I wanted to give you now is, after this explanation, is to give you 2 examples of healthy anger. So one is from my family, and the other one is from my teamwork with people. And both examples are really, I believe, well, helpful for everybody who is learning how to be angry in a healthy way. And from this, I will also show you how to access the true power with it and how to set the healthy boundaries. And so first one is, I have 3 children, as many of you know, and especially my first one is extremely sensitive. He is so sensitive that it's like kind of difficult. For me, because I'm learning how to live with such a sensitive people, also being sensitive myself too, you know, so it's probably not easy to live with me either. Sorry. So sensitive people can really pick anger. And if you are sensitive, then you know what I mean, because you can pick anger from people, and it is a terrible feeling. It is so difficult to sense others are angry, and that anger is not owned, it's not expressed, and then you feel it like it's almost an itchy feeling into your body. Say yes if you know what I mean. You know what I mean? I'm sure you do. So how is it for you if you pick anger from someone else and that anger is not expressed? Yeah, you know, right? Yeah, you know. I know you know. So it's actually what you could do in that moment is like say, I feel there is some unexpressed emotion here, and I would like to name it. That's usually enough. And of course, you cannot push someone or force someone to express their emotion. They might not even be in touch with it. But what you can do, you can set a healthy boundary to yourself and just name it out loud. Like, I'm sensing something that's not mine. It's not pleasant. I just want to give it a voice. That's all what you need to do, basically. And with this, you would usually set the healthy boundary, and it will be okay. And then, you know, let's be honest, it's much easier to say, I'm picking anger from someone else. And it's not that easy to be really honest with ourselves and admit that we are having some unexpressed anger and someone else is picking it. And how did I learn it? From my sensitive son. Because sometimes he would be like, I would be just, you know, normal, doing something in the kitchen or whatever at home. And he would be like, all of a sudden, he would become really irritated, and he would picking fights with his brother, and his sister, and he would be like all this, like nagging around. That would be a terrible child. And I would say, like, what's wrong with you? I mean, what happened? What is it? And I learned after a while, after a painful while. I mean, it wasn't overnight. It took me years actually to understand what is going on. That he's actually sensing my unexpressed emotion. And it was such an aha moment, a light bulb in my head, like, oh, this is happening. But what to do next? Because I thought I need to have it resolved in order for him to be okay. I thought, okay, if I'm not having a nice day, or if I'm angry for some other reason or whatever, then I should be okay now, so he would be okay. And it wasn't possible, because I just needed to have my space for my emotions, and I just couldn't be okay like in a second. And what I learned here is crucial. I learned first, when I saw himself like starting to nag and, you know, picking fights around the house, I learned to check within myself first. So what did I do? I did F. I decided I'm willing to feel. Then I did E. I embodied. I checked within my body. What is in here? And I tell you, many times I have found anger. Many times. It was like tiny hidden anger that I wasn't really willing to look at, and he was mirroring that for me. So I found it. And then what I did, was I did the second E. I just said, you know, my dear son, I'm just feeling so angry, or I'm feeling disappointed because this and this happened. And I didn't solve it, but what I did was I owned it and I expressed it out loud. Nothing else. I just said out loud, I feel this way. And you know what? It was like changing the TV channel. Like I had in a not in a matter of seconds, like immediately, I have a different person in front of me. So the moment, he was not picking my anger anymore because I was owning it. So I only said, I'm angry, owning it energetically, like I'm angry. It has nothing to do with you. I'm owning it, and this is how it is right now. Right now we have a mom like this. And it was such a liberation for him that I'm forever grateful to be able to, you know, to come so deep with this secret. And so I understood that I don't need to have everything figured out, that I don't need to be perfect. All what I need to do is I need to be willing, first able and then willing to express what I feel, and then let it go through my body. And then the energy between the two of us changed so much that, I mean, he stopped fighting with his brother. He stopped like troubling around. It was just a different person. Amazing, amazing thing, because the energy changed. So don't be afraid of owning your anger, because this is the healthy way. You stop the fight. Otherwise, I would need to set the healthy boundary to my boy, tell him that this is not the behavior I want. It would be so tiring. And I did something else. I was honest with myself. I expressed it. And he was immediately different. And there was benefit for me as well. Not just him, not just having a well-behaved son. It was something else. It was like I felt like expressing the anger changed my perspective on the situation I was angry about. And so with this expressing and letting go, I was able to see differently. And from that different point of view, I was able either to access my inner power and, for instance, require a change or something, or I was able to see that I overreacted and there's not such a big deal that made me angry. So with this expression, I was actually benefiting. The one who was benefiting most was actually myself, but everybody was. So this is the example of my personal life. And does it make sense? Just does it make sense? Do you get it? Are you willing to do that next time your loved ones trigger yourself? Because, we bring home all sorts of emotion from our work day, from whatever happened to us during the day and during the whole entire lifetime, actually. And we are bringing all this home. Yeah, thank you. And so another example, for instance, is from my work with my team. I have the greatest team in the world, and we really live by F.E.E.L method. We all do. I mean, it's, okay, thank you. Yeah, you recognize that, huh? Yeah, I see, thank you. And we are really building our relationships using F.E.E.L. Everybody does. We are like now 4 or 5 people, and team is actually built. Team is not something that happens, like also in our relationships, that they don't just happen. They need to be really established and built and nurtured and honed and all this, what goes along with it. And many times I notice like this strange emotion in me, and then I would stop and I would sense it in me, and I would set a healthy boundary, but not the way like, oh, I don't want you to behave like that. I would say, I'm sensing something that probably needs to be heard. So I'm here because I work with adults, right? In my team, I have adult people. It's not the same as working with children, because with children, you are the authority. Okay. In my team, I'm the authority as well, but we are more like on the same level than with the children. With children, you need to be like more in charge than with people in your team. But what would I say if I would feel like anger in myself, and I would say, okay, so the anger in me would serve me to set the healthy boundary, but my healthy boundary would sound like this. I would say, okay, I sense here is something, and I'm really here for you, and I'm willing to listen. I'm here for you, and I would like you, if you're okay, to tell me, what do you feel? You don't need to tell me your personal story, in detail. But I'm really here, willing to listen. What feeling do you have in you right now? And I cannot tell you how liberating this is for everybody. And when this happens to me as well, because I'm human as everyone else, and now my team members are able to ask me sometimes, what do you feel? Or how do you feel? And when I'm able to express, and when I have this space to just say, this is how I feel right now, I tell you, this would so change our energy. And we probably devote, well, sometimes 5 minutes, sometimes 1 hour to this. But then we are so productive. And then we have this new creativity and new power and new connectedness among us, like between each other, that I'm so grateful to have this. So this is how we do it all the time. And I believe that if in any team productivity is low, or there are some things that are not really like going the way you would like to, then it's so healthy to just make space to say it out loud. What do you feel? And it will be usually enough just to express it out loud. Because feeling of being heard and being able to express what you feel is so liberating. And when your energy liberates, then you liberate your creativity too, and your problem-solving capability and all this. So everything flows so much smoother and really different than it flew before. And yeah, so this is what I use in our team, and I recommend it I recommend it to everyone to use it, because it will make such a difference. And there is one more last thing that I want to say for tonight. And this is healthy boundary to your financial life. If you're happy with your finances, then fine. Then you don't need to listen to this. But if you are not happy, if you feel like you're undervalued, or you are not making the money you would like to, or you deserve for your expertise, then it's time to access your feelings around that. And I tell you, there will be a portion of anger. So if you think of the amount of money you are paid for your expertise, just go to your body and feel it. And if you feel some anger, then allow this anger to be there. Don't blame your anyone, because no one is actually responsible for your financial situation. It's you. But unless you access your feelings, especially anger, you will not unleash the power that you have to set a healthy boundary to your finances as well. So if you feel this anger and let it go, like let it flow through your body, then eventually you will come to the inner power that you will be able to really say, okay, this is my financial boundary. I'm not going below this fee, for instance, or I'm not going below this salary, or I'm not going below this time for rest that I take for myself weekly or monthly or yearly, or I'm not going below this way of respect, or I'm not going below this so many hearts. I like these hearts. Yes, this is how you unleash. This is how you raise your standards, actually. You can't do it in your head. I have never seen anyone. I have seen many people try to do it in your head, but no one achieved it. If you want to achieve or really raise your boundary, like so it's sustainable, you need to go through your feelings. And if there is no anger, then you are just denying it. Then you are still denying it. You know, if you're still in the denial phase, oh, it's not that bad. Oh, there are so many people who have worse financial situation than I do. Then you are just, still denying. But when you are stepping out of the denial and say it's enough, then you will feel this anger. And this anger when felt in a healthy way, not blaming others, owning anger, will give you the power to say no to low fees, no to overworking, and no to just any financial situation that's below the healthy respect you deserve for yourself. So, okay, this was 40 minutes now. I believe this is enough for tonight. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. I'm happy to say whatever you want to know. And if not, just, give me some yes, or I understood it, or I liked it, or was it helpful? I really want to know, was it helpful? Was it understandable? Was it like something that you could integrate in your life? And this is what Leap for Leaders does, actually. We do this in Leap for Leaders. We go through this journey, like from denial, from, oh, it's not that bad. This is the denial phase. We go to healthy anger. And from anger, we, progress to next phase, which is negotiation. And then from negotiation, we go to like really dropping down and like getting rid of the excess baggage, which is our beliefs and low self-respect and low confidence and all this. And then we go through the eye of the needle, where we go to the bottom and we pick the pearl from the shell, and then we go to the confident, happy, fulfillment, joy, purpose, success, and confident leader, impactful leader that you are always meant to be. And this is how it is. If you are not willing to travel through these phases, then you will just stay where you are. Okay, Valerie, she says, so it's just about feeling the feeling and expressing it to ourselves if we are by ourselves or to other people when we are with them. And it's not about going, yes, exactly, Valerie. This is exactly about not going to the story. It's actually simplifying the whole thing. Like the other day, I had the lecture it was live, it wasn't online. And someone said, oh, finally, someone gave me the permission not to make it simple, not to complicate it. Exactly. It's not going to the story. It's just really expressing it and not blaming. Like there are 5 pitfalls that are against expressing. So victimizing, blaming, going to the story, intellectualizing, and avoiding. And going to the story is one of them. Yeah, great question. Anything else? I'm so happy this is landing so well. This will change the world if we practice that, and if we give it to the world. Like every one of us can give it like to 100 people or to 200, 300 people, and if everyone does it, then the world will be changed. This will be no more damage in relationships. Imagine people around you who are causing you pain. If they knew how to do that, they would not cause you pain anymore. And if you are causing pain to someone, and of course you are sorry for that, I'm sorry, I caused so much pain in my life. I don't want to do that anymore. This is why I want to own my feelings, but I don't want to blame myself. I don't want to judge myself. I just want to own what's mine. That's it. Could you repeat those 5? Yes, I can. Avoiding, blaming, going to the story, intellectualizing, avoiding. Did I say avoiding twice? I hope not. Well, I can post the picture when it's done, because I have it in a slide in my in my PowerPoint presentation for this F.E.E.L method. Yeah. So I'm really happy. I could feel so much good energy here, and you will see when you really when you just express your anger, you will be changed. You will naturally go to the happy, fulfilled phase. Maida, she's asking, what do you mean exactly with intellectualizing? Oh, intellectualizing, I mean understanding it. I understand everything. I know where my anger is coming from. I know my father did that. My mother did that. I know it all. It's all analysis. you know, but it's not, you don't feel me, right? You just know I'm here and I understand everything, I know everything. And it's actually intellectualizing. It is actually a form of avoiding the true feeling. And before you have the healthy embodied feeling of anger, so far you will be avoiding it, because like really feeling anger could bring you to either damage yourself or damage others. But once you learn how to really embody your feeling and how to let go the flow through your fingers, through your throat, pelvis, and toes, then you won't be afraid to damage yourself or others. So you will be able to have your anger. So there won't be any need to avoid or intellectualize about it anymore. Yeah. I mean, owning it, it just changes everything. Yeah. Hi, Maya. Okay, is there any more question? I'm happy to be in this communication. I love it, actually. My fire went down. Yeah, you're welcome, Maida. She says thanks. Okay, so I hope that was it. Well, I'm willing to answer, but if there isn't anything anymore, then I'm happy to say goodbye for the night and say thank you. And I'm so happy. You are pioneers, you are leaders. Just, let me repeat it once again. I repeated it like a million times, and I repeated the million in the first time. Leader is not someone who says, follow me. Leader is someone who says, I'll go first. So you are leaders. You are leaders because you are bringing something new first to your life and then to your environment. And that's for me is the definition of the leader. And leaders of new era are leaders who are willing to be vulnerable. And I feel you, you feel me, and I believe this is the leadership of the future. So I'm so proud of each and every one who has joined this, and also those who couldn't join but are listening to the recording. And for all of you in the Leap for Leaders journey, we have almost 500 people there. I'm so proud because this is my first international launch and I already have 500 people, and that's amazing. That's amazing. With my broken English, I mean, this was my vulnerability. This was my main obstacle. Like, I know I can speak English well, but it's not my language. It's so much easier to speak in my language. But I so want to bring this wisdom to the whole world, and so are you. So what is your purpose? Follow it and just be there with your vulnerability, with your imperfection, and do it whatever you are here to do. So I love you so much, and I wish you good night, those in Europe, and well, the good rest of the day, those in the States, and probably good the rest of your night, those on the other side, in the East, Australia, or wherever you are. So, bye-bye, thanks, ciao.